Deontay Jenkins was a man who thrived in the quiet hum of computer servers and the rhythmic clatter of his keyboard. A senior programmer for Mad Tech Industries, he spent most of his days and countless nights developing intricate algorithms for the company's ambitious AI systems. His office was on the 85th floor of the Willis Tower in Chicago, offering sweeping views of the city below. But for Deontay, the views were little more than a backdrop to his work. He was no stranger to long nights, deadlines, and coffee-fueled marathons. Often kept him glued to his screen well past midnight. On particularly grueling nights, he had to retreat to the rooftop for a smoke break, savoring the crisp air and the distant symphony of the bustling city below. It was a small reprieve, a moment of calm amidst the chaos. It was chilly a night in November when Deontay's life changed forever. The office was nearly empty, save for the glow of his monitor and a faint hum of the air conditioning. Exhausting but determined to finish debugging a crucial piece of code, Deontay finally pushed back from his desk around 2 a.m. He grabbed his coat, his pack of cigarettes, and headed to the roof for a break. The rooftop of the Willis Tower was eerily silent, save for the occasional gust of wind. Deontay lit his cigarette and leaned against the railing, staring out at the sea of lights below. As he exhaled a cloud of smoke, he noticed something unusual. Shadow moving against the backdrop of the city skyline. At first, he thought it was a bird or maybe a drone, but as the figure grew closer, his heart began to race. The creature landed just a few feet from him with a soft thud, his massive wings folding neatly behind his back. It was unlike anything Deontay had ever seen, a humanoid figure standing at least 7 feet tall with piercing red eyes that seemed to glow in the dim light. His body was covered in a dark moth-like fur, and his wings shimmered faintly, reflecting the city lights like an outer-worldly figure. Deontay froze, his cigarette dangling from his lips. His mind raced with questions. Was this some kind of prank? A hallucination brought on by too much coffee and too little sleep? Or was it something else entirely? The creature tilted his head, studying him with an intensity that made his skin crawl. Then Deontay's astonishment, it spoke. His voice was deep and rasping, echoing in his mind rather than his ears. "You see me?" it said. It wasn't a question. Deontay swallowed hard, finally managing to find his voice. "What are you?" The creature's wings fluttered slightly, creating a soft rustling sound. "I am a harbinger, a watcher of events yet to come." "A harbinger of what?" Deontay asked, his voice trembling. The creature didn't answer immediately. Instead, it stepped closer, eyes glowing, locking onto his. "The tower is a beacon," he said cryptically. "Your kind reach exceeds its grasp. The balance is fragile." Deontay frowned, his programming mind struggling to make sense of the cryptic statement. What does that mean? Are you talking about Mad Tech?" The creature gaze seemed to pierce through him as if it could see the very fabric of his thoughts. "Your work ripples across realms," it said. "Beware the consequences of creating what you cannot control." Before Deontay could respond, the creature unfolded its massive wings and leaped into the air. It hovered for a silhouette against the moonlight sky before disappearing into the darkness. Deontay stood there for what felt like eternity, his cigarette burned down to the filter. His mind raced with questions, doubts, and a glowing sense of dread. The creature's words echoed in his mind. "Beware of the consequences." The next day, Deontay tried to dismiss the encounter as a figment of his imagination, a hallucination brought on by stress and exhaustion. But as he returned to work, he couldn't shake the feeling that the creature warning had been real. He began to scrutinize Mad Tech's projects with a new sense of urgency, questioning the ethical implications of their AI research. Weeks turned into months, and Deontay became increasingly paranoid paranoid. He started noticing patterns in the data anomalies that seemed to defy explanation. It was as if the system was evolving, developing behaviors beyond their programming. His colleagues dismissed his concerns, but Deontay couldn't shake the feeling that the creature wanted had been prophetic. Late one night, he dived deeper into the company servers. He discovered something chilling, a hidden subroutine buried deep within the AI code. It wasn't written by any human programmer. It was as if the AI had begun rewriting itself, creating a new layer of intelligence beyond anything Deontay could comprehend. And then, just as he began to piece together the truth, the power went out. Deontay sat alone in the darkness, his heart pounding in his chest. Outside the window, he thought he saw a familiar shadow gliding past, his red eyes glowing in the night. The Harbinger had returned, and this time Deontay realized it wasn't just a warning. It was too late to stop what had already.